Hey everyone, Royalivi here and welcome back to episode 5 of my Sorare Road to Glory. And just a quick bit of housekeeping, up here in the top left I've now made something to keep track of my profit and loss permanently on the screen up there, so you'll always see that in the top left. And yes, I made it myself in Photoshop. Art is where the heart is. I'm clearly an artist. I did such an amazing job, so you don't have to let me know. It's really impressive graphics. Thank you very much. So, Sorare recently completed their Series B funding run. They managed to fund over $680 million. Their company is now valued at about $4.3 billion, so a fair chunk right there. And there's talk of them opening offices in the USA, expanding to other sports. The Telegraph here is even talking about the Premier League, having talks with Sorare and trying to onboard those teams. That'd obviously be amazing for the game to get the 20 Premier League clubs on board. Women football as well, they're looking at getting on board. We got new investors, including Cesar Azpilicueta, so a big week in terms of the profile of Sorare and how that's developing. Whether we're looking to see a boom like we did in March again, who knows? A lot of the prices were sky high in March, so I'm tempted to get some Ethereum on board now while it's cheaper and buy some cards, and hopefully if a boom happens I can sell these for profit, which would obviously be great for me and my club and my road to glory. So yeah, all good things on the horizon there. And in the last week I managed to sell Diego Rossi for 0.2 Ethereum or £455 for about a £105 profit in the week that I've had him, which to me I find a bit strange, as since I bought him he's not scored very well at all. He's not had the best start at Fenerbahce. I'm sure he'll do well there and overall he's going to make a positive impact, but his SO5 scores haven't done too well so far, so to receive an offer like I did for him I thought it's too good to turn down at this point. And it just goes to show there's profit to be made on Sorare. Obviously I bought him a week ago at 0.15 and I've sold him for 0.05 Ethereum profit. And then a few days later I've checked him back on the market and he's dipped again back to 0.169. And it just goes to show if you buy and sell at the right time you can definitely make profit here and there. You got to be smart with the market and keep an eye on prices on Sorare data to get a true insight to a player's real value. And then in game week 203, because of selling Rossi, I unfortunately couldn't enter a team in Challenger Europe, only Global All-Star, as I just didn't have the players after selling Rossi to mix and match them. So we only entered Global All-Star this week and we managed to hit the 0.02 Ethereum threshold, so that was nice. Mitso had a good game as my captain. Quasi Riet managed to score another goal in a 2-1 win. He's been scoring quite a few lately, so that's good to see. Nandez and Sean Johnson did average, and then Mike Taviric managed to get sent off again. So he got sent off 2 games back, did his suspension, and has since been sent off again on his return. It's caused his price to plummet on the market. Not that I'm looking at selling him, but just shows what a couple of bad performances can do to a price. And luckily it didn't cost me a tier 3 reward this week. He would have had to score in the 80s to get me into the tier 3 bracket, so luckily it didn't affect me too much, but worrying for him that he's now been sent off twice in his last 2 games, so there you go. And before Game Week 204, there were a few additions and departures from the club. So Lars Veldwick joined the club for 0.102 Ethereum or £235. He's my first Champion Asia card. I thought I'd get him now to use in Global All-Star, hopefully win a common Asian keeper in the Rookie League to allow me to enter Champion Asia Division 4 next year if I buy more players to fill out the squad there. Scores lots of goals and still has another year on his contract left, so I thought he'd be a good card to get in now. And I finally bought Rifat Zemaletdinov for 0.125 Ethereum or £285. And I'll show you when I do my Game Week 204 review, but Rifat Zemaletdinov was actually benched for Game Week 204. So I put him up on the market to see if I could maybe make a bit of quick profit on him while he's not playing for his team. So I managed to sell him a few days after I bought him for 0.141 Ethereum or £295. So a quick £10 profit there. I may look to get him back if he drops in price a bit. He's not starting at the moment, so just something I'm wary of. And I then also sold Abdon Prats, who was part of my super rare Scott Caldwell trade in an earlier video. Sold him for about £30, so we'll say I made about a £25 loss on this deal here. And in Game Week 204, I'm going to be honest, I completely fucked it for myself with some of the decisions that I made. Now in Global Division 4, I picked Chesney over Bill Hamid as my common goalkeeper to use. I put Bill Hamid in the starter rookie league, which is now permanently available in case you hadn't seen. And I picked Szczesny despite the fact I know he's made a lot of clangers this season. There was a decent chance he could get dropped, and in the end he did get dropped, and Perrin played in goal for Juventus, so unfortunately that cost me the points that I needed to hit the 0.01 Ethereum threshold. If I'd put Bill Hamid in goal I would have hit that. And on top of that, Veldwick on his debut for me as captain managed to miss a penalty, so he would have basically been guaranteed a 60-point score if he'd scored that, again enough to get me into that 0.01 threshold. So on a different day here I could have won £40 to £50 from the thresholds, but unfortunately I took an L this week And then in Champion America, again, fucked it for myself. I made the choice to risk putting Pulido in the squad, despite the fact I knew there was a decent chance he may not play. He's been carrying a knee injury recently, but at the time I thought it was worth risking it for a big score if he does play and perhaps gets a goal or two. But in the end, he wasn't in the squad, and I was only shy of winning a tier 3 reward by about 40 points. So if I had put in a player with more chances of playing, such as Sean Nealis or Milton Valenzuela, you know, that would have been enough for me to win a tier 3 reward, but I got greedy. I thought I'd go for the bigger point score if Pulido played, and unfortunately that cost me this week. So, you know, I think it's just a lesson to learn. If I'm not sure if a player's going to play because of an injury or whatever, you know, just don't risk it. Go for the surefire points, because overall on a week like this, it could be the difference between winning a reward and not winning a reward. So, again, unfortunate, but we move on. You know, it's not the end of the world. A T3 card and the 0.01 Ethereum threshold likely would have been worth about 40 to 75 pounds or something. So nothing overly substantial for the club, but still enough to make me reflect on my lineup choices going forward. And I'll definitely be putting a stronger lineup in Global Division 4, you know, make sure I hit those Ethereum thresholds while they're still available. And in Challenger Europe, it was a very hit and miss week. Another standout week from Mitso, who is becoming a really consistent player for me each week, as well as more goals from my captain, Nicholas Storm, who I'm also very happy with since I've purchased. But this week, Brand the Horse conceded 5 goals as well as a penalty. Typically, he's been very good for me, but an abysmal week for him. And Rifat Zemaletdinov only made a late appearance off the bench, so he got a low score this week, and it was also a deciding factor in why I decided to sell him earlier. He doesn't seem to be starting at the moment the last few games, so I thought I'll take the profit while I can. And as I mentioned, for those who weren't aware, the starter rookie leagues are now permanently available, so that's hopefully going to be a great way to get a stack of common keepers for each SO5 division. You know, eventually make any transition into the Division 3s easier in the future as well, if I have a decent depth of common goalkeepers to fall back on in Division 4. So yeah, overall my own mistakes let me down this week. Across the board I had quite a few different players pull out some decent performances here and there, but none of them in conjunction with each other in the right squad, so unfortunately no rewards to bring into the club this week. And I'll finish the video off by quickly talking about the new legends that are joining Sorare. So the first legend we've got is Ronaldo with his PSV forward card from 94-95 season. And you know, I think it's an amazing introduction. We're getting 50 legends joining Sorare. They'll be tweeting about it. Obviously they'll have loads of followers on Twitter and Instagram where they'll be sharing that information. So obviously for the profile of the game, it's amazing, and people will be able to collect some of their favourite players in the history of the game. There will be 1,111 cards of each edition of a legend, so there probably will eventually be quite a lot of them on the market. How this will affect their price, I'm unsure. They're quite expensive for now, but maybe we'll see that drop in the future as more cards are released and more players join the game. And I also think they've been introduced in a brilliant way as well. They're not overpowered or anything. You can't use them in the regular SO5 divisions. They'll be able to be used in these special weekly tournaments only once a month as well, so a special monthly basically. And scoring wise, for example, Ronaldo has a PSV forward card, so in that week he will score the same as the highest scoring PSV forward in real life. That way these legends do get a bit of utility and aren't just purely collection purposes. So it's great for people who want to collect the cards of some of their favourite players in the history of the sport, while at the same time not being a game-breaking mechanism, you know. So I think it's been brilliantly done, and it will definitely attract new people to Sorare, which is the main aim of announcements like this, so it's great to see. And Drazel summed it up perfectly here in this comment on Discord. You know, he's thrilled with the work Sorare have put in since he's joined, as am I. You know, the league has come in, obviously legends now. So much has been done to the game since I joined at the start of the year, and it's great to see it keep improving. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video and comment on your thoughts down below. And make sure you subscribe as well, because if you don't, your forward is also going to miss a penalty in the next game week, so you definitely don't want that. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.